Hello, hello, hello. Alright, I believe we are live. Just trying to make sure it's working alright. Just checking in on my laptop here. I think we're going. All right. So, I think we're good. All right. So, we're playing Kerbal Space Program today. A little bit of modded. You might have seen the thumbnail, modded Mayhem, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I've installed plenty of mods to the game, and I'm very, very excited to get started. So, we're gonna get going. We're gonna call it modded Mayhem. We're gonna do career mode. Grab our modded Mayhem flag, so you can see there. You'll see it in a bit more detail when we get into the VAB. All the settings, I'm just gonna leave it at normal. And I think we're gonna start. Alright, here we are. Gene Kerman, nice to meet you, blah blah blah. Just telling us how Kerbal Space Program works, but I am no newbie. So, I think there is no other place to start than the VAB. Well, actually, we should probably get a contract going. So you can see we've got contract configurator here with a bunch of new custom contracts. So we're going to take the Do Some Science contract. I don't think we're going to be orbiting or even going to space in our first launch. And, yeah, I don't think we can hit any of those. So we're just going to try and get that one first science contract. Alright, got it, Werner. So we're just going to start with the normal command pod. And I'm going to build a standard rocket that, you know, everyone knows about. But while I do, I'm going to talk a little bit about what the plan for the series is and some of the mods we have. So, in the series, we have quite a few mods. I've installed almost everything, I think actually everything, with CCAN. So everything you can get on CCAN. A few mods that I did have to do a little bit of funny work with the versioning. For instance, we have Airplane Plus, which is only available for version, or it says it's available for version 1.8, and we're on 1.12, but it does work, it's just CCAN doesn't really want you to. And that might be for good reason. I haven't messed with it too much. I'm just kind of hoping, you know, the computer doesn't explode. But I don't think that will happen. So we're just gonna put these in a little bit. There we go. There's our goo, our crew capsule. Probably going to want to drop the fuel in here. And I think I'm going to pull down the thrust limiter just a little bit. What should we call this? I think it's going to be, probably going to be the, I don't know, Crew Launch Vehicle Mark 1. Let's go with the Grasshopper. Pretty standard name, but you know, I think it gets the job done. Just gonna specify what that acronym means. the grasshopper. Alright, we're gonna save that. Just gonna check, make sure, yep, Jeb's inside. And I think we are good to go. Don't need this, that's for far in the future. So here is our crew capsule. We're going to start by getting our science from the launch pad, so we're going to observe a mystery goo and take a crew report. Alright, some fairly bog standard stuff there. Now, here we are on the launch pad. Don't actually think we have to get to the ground to take a surface sample. But we can take a DVA report. Can't take surface samples yet because we don't actually have the astronaut complex unlocked. I'm not that used to career mode. I usually play science, but it works. I'm also going to take the data that'll allow us to get a second career report soon, you know, when we need to. And I think we're good to go. So we're going to engage SAS here, and I think we're going to launch. So 3, 2, 1. We're going to angle towards the water. Oh, that sound. Very nice. Alright, we're going to observe the goo. Going to get a crew report. Bonk, bonk. We might get an EVA report. I don't think we're going to do that just yet. Time warp ahead a little bit. Oh, that's right, we cannot EVA because we don't have the upgrade yet. Like I said, I'm not that used to career, so these are all things that I am not, well, I'm not used to having the upgrades to the astronaut complex. I think we're going to pop the chute before it gets too bad. I think we're going to end up splashed down the shores, which will be pretty nice. So there we are. Yeah, it's glitching out a little, it's clipping into the pod a little, but you can see that's our flag, similar to the thumbnail of the stream. It's just this cool little rocket that I designed in KSP modded Mayhem with the 2 M's. Well, I think we're just going to time warp down to the water here. And yes, I think we are going to actually end up still in the shores biome, but splashed. So that's a unique opportunity for science that I don't think anyone really tends to get. Alright. So now we're on the ground. Let's get out. We'll take an EVA report. We'll take out the crew report. So we can take one in here. Yep. And then a goo report, I think, is the only thing that we're missing. Yes. Alright. There we go. First flight done. Rockets in the water. I think we're good to recover. So, like I said, I'm going to talk a little bit about the mods we have here as we're building stuff. So, as a master, like tech tree mod, I've got community tech tree. I've got advanced tree engine placement, so that adds this propulsion line here. You can see. But community tech tree, I have hide empty tech tree nodes for the nodes that don't have anything with the pack. I have aircraft airplane plus, sorry. You can see it adds all these new airplane parts, all sorts of engines, fuselages, all sorts of cool stuff. We have all the near future mods. So near future exploration, launch vehicles, propulsion, electrical, etc. I think there's a few more. We have station parts expansion Redux. Somewhere in here we have TAC life support, TAC life support. Please do not bully me for mispronouncing it. I know it's one of those two. So that's our life support mod. I'm just gonna real quick research basic rocketry and engineering 101. I think I'm also gonna get survivability for that parameter. And yeah, we can't afford anything else, but that gets us somewhere. Now we have, what else? We have Outer Planets mod, so it adds a few more gas giants and a bunch of moons. So you can see out here we've got Sarnus, Nidon, and then Pluck, which is the replacement for Elu. Elu is now, I think, a moon of Sarnus? Maybe? Here we go, just taking a second to load in. So yeah, Elu is now a moon of Sarnus. We're gonna just go back to Kerbin, there we go. But we've researched our science nodes, so we're going to get to building our next rocket. So we're gonna hop into the vehicle assembly building again, and I think this one we're going to either try and hit the high atmosphere or even space potentially. So we're gonna make a new rocket, same crew pod. Grab the chute. You can see we've also got Universal Storage 2, you might have seen, which is a fun little mod that I like. Don't think we'll need extra parachutes, but maybe we should add them. Eh, why not? Let's play it safe. Just put them in so they're sticking out just a little bit like that. That'll work. Now, I think we're going to try and hit space, so we're going to need 2 experiments of everything in order to get all of the science. And actually, let's just title this the Mark II for now. Before we go any further, before I forget, we got to get another contract. Because, like I said, I'm very bad with this. Aha! Many more contracts. So we can only have 2 right now. Actually, I wonder if we can upgrade it just yet. We can, but it'd be like all of our funding. We can upgrade that. Runway we don't really need. R&D is gonna have to happen eventually. Astronaut complex. Yeah, we can do some stuff. I think for now we're gonna try and gather a bit more funding, so we're not going to orbit Kerbin. We are, however, see, suborbital trajectory, we are going to try and hit that. Let's perform experience around the Space Center. Alright, we got to test the Goldfish engine, the Onion Reentry module, the launch site. Let's see. So, we might come back and grab that, actually. Valiant orbiting Kerbin. We're not going into orbit. The swivel engine splashed down. I don't think we're going to be able to bring the engine back with us. Our orbiting Kerbin. Focused observational surveys. Okay, so I don't think we're really going to be able to do any of these ones. So maybe we do switch over to use the Soviet-style reentry pod, because that's a quick science point and a little bit of money. Oh, what do we have active? Did this one not complete? Not sure why that did not complete. Let's try that again on our next rocket, I guess. So we have those 2 contracts to get to space and to do some science. Apparently the science one did not want to recover, or did not want to complete. But, oh well. Alright, got our goo. Let's grab. We're actually going to put 2 of each science experiment on because we cannot yet EVA. Let's set it to mirror symmetry. Alright, So 2 thermometers and 2 barometers. I'm going to see if I can push this one in just a tad so he isn't sticking out too much. There we go. Don't know if we're gonna need a heat shield. I don't think we will, but I also don't. How much does it cost? 300. I think it's worth the risk because we're not gonna need the delta V that bad. We'll make it black and we'll cut. Well, we can cut like all the ablator. Now for the retexturing of everything, the ability to color that black and some extra little parts, I'm using Restock and Restock Plus, 2 very nice mods. By the same person who makes all the near future mods. So if you like those, you like the quality of those, these are a great one. These are great ones to check out. Check staging real quick. So I'll grab a decoupler and some fuel. I think we're probably going to use a liquid fuel engine this time around. Valiant engine. Might be enough. It's 1200, it's only 500, so if we can get away with that, then we might want to try. White or black? Let's see. I'd say that looks okay. This is going to be a bit of a stick rocket. It's going to be thin and tall, but let's see, are you enough to lift it? It's a lot of delta V, and it is enough to lift it. Can get a boat tail on that? Yes, we can. So we might use that. 25 for that. 120. This is from Kerbal Reusability Expansion. You can see the little tooltip above my mouse. I think we're gonna try and use some of these. They're definitely meant for smaller sized craft, but I think that this will work just fine. I also think we have plenty of fuel. I think that's plenty to get to where we need to be. Now we can bring them down a little bit. I even want to rotate them in a tad. Pull it down a bit. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. Are we stable? We are stable. Center of pressure is behind the center of mass. Wonder if we can cut out like maybe like 2 fuel tanks. 1837. I think that should work, honestly. Now, we could put a scientist on us, but since we can't EVA, there's no point in bringing one to reset it. And we'll have Bob flying on plenty of other missions, so I think it's a good time to get Jeb a bit more experience. So I think that this will work. Alright, we got to come up with a good name for it. So the other one was called the Grasshopper. Maybe we call this one... What do we call the other one? CLV, okay. So the Grasshopper. CLV Mark II. And we're going to call it some kind of bug. What bug should we name it? We could do ant. I feel like it's a bit big for ant. I feel like ant would be something that's like smaller, although this is crew launch vehicle. What else? Termite, also pretty small, I feel like. The beetle? We could do beetle. Why don't we do beetle? So, the Mark II beetle. Should we keep it like this, spelled like the Beatles? No, I think we'll spell it like the actual bug. So the Mark II Beetle. Most beetles can fly, so it's not, you know, too impossible. We are going to be flying this time. It's not going to be a hop. So we have Jebediah on board. We are ready to go, and we just check. Yep, we've got our contracts. Let's see. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. Might as well. It's Kerbal Space Program. Sometimes you gotta take a leap. So I believe Jeb is about to be our first Kerbal in space. I'm going to hold off on getting experiments from down here. I think I'm going to try and hit the upper atmosphere and space. Let's see if we can't aim the camera there. Alright. So we're going to throttle up. And we're going to launch in 3, 2, 1. Godspeed, Jebediah. So I think this time we're going to angle this way. Because there's a lot of water on the planet, so I think we'll get science from water landings at some point. So if we can try and hit like the desert or mountains, something over in this direction, I think that'll work good. We are indeed going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship. Not sure for how long it'll be the favorite, but you know, it's a rocket. Looks like we're supersonic now. Or about around now. For an orbital rocket, that'd be max Q, as you can see everything. All the stripes coming down the sides. I'm gonna throttle back so our TWR stays around 2 for now. So we're not burning too much fuel. Not pushing against the atmosphere too hard. We're about to break 18 kilometers and hit the upper atmosphere. Like so. So I think now is as good a time as any to do our experiments. So those are those two. Temperature and a crew report. Perfect. And full burn for the last few seconds. That's that. Don't think we're really going to be able to bring the rocket down with us. I don't think 2 drogues and a main parachute are enough for that. So goodbye, friend. Alright, now, does that apoapsis look like it's going into space? I think it does. I think it very much does. So I think we're good to go. We'll coast up, we'll time warp up a little bit. Ooh, are we gonna make it? Yes, we are. Alright, real quick. Going to get some log pressure data, log the temperature. Actually, I think we're gonna overwrite the crew report for now, because this one's probably gonna yield us a bit more science. Okay. So we're coasting up. I wonder what our apogee would be. About 81 kilometers it looked like. So here we are, hitting the atmosphere. Gonna make sure we are as close as we can be on that retrograde. And I think we're about to come down. You can see the moon over there and the beautiful skybox. Yes, I'm using, if you couldn't tell already, I'm using a lot of visual mods. Namely, Eve, Astronomer's visual pack, PlanetShine, which you won't really notice till we start going orbital and further away, but it's there. I have Reentry particle effect renewed. Don't know if we're going to see that right now. Don't know if we're going to come in fast enough for that. But that adds like a special like spark trail behind your capsule, which looks pretty cool. Maybe, oh, we got a little bit of reentry heating. Switch to land. We are coming in hot, but we are also slowing down. We're about to be subsonic, it looks like. There we go. I think it's safe enough to open the chutes. So I think we'll do so about now. Oof. It's quite a bit of a boom coming from the bottom half of the rocket. So we're coming down. I'm not actually sure what biome we are in. I want to say this is either mountains or highlands. I think this is highlands because that'd be mountains. But that'll be some new science. I probably should have brought a scientist, but it's not a big deal. So we just won't be able to get our mystery goo report a second time. Alright, drogue chutes are out. I'm just going to set the altitude of this a bit lower. And put out our main parachute. There we go. And we're coming down nice and gentle. I'm going to time warp up a little bit. At 700 meters we should get that main chute. And we do. Very nice. Coming down slowly. Might want to just give up on SAS for this. And we'll slow down on the time warp here. Brace and bonk. We've landed. Good job, Jeb. Alright, let's get an EVA report. Take the crew report. Take the pressure, the thermometer. Now we actually do have science here and now, which is a really useful tool. I am going to not use it just for now because it's a big window in the corner, but when we start getting to go into space and when I'm trying to get the EVA science over every biome, I will enable it. So in the next flight or two, we'll start using that. I think that's it, right? Taking the data from those and that, yep. So let's take a crew report from, the Highlands. And a little bit more experiment work. And I think that's it, because we can't reset these, so we can't, unfortunately, get science. I think that the science we'd get from resetting it and using it here would not be worth it. So we're going to recover. And Jeb is back from his second flight, and he's been the first Kerbal to go to space, so that's pretty cool. $119 science, would you look at that? And a good bit of funding from recovered parts, but a lot of funding from records and contracts. Speaking of contracts, we got both of them done, so no worries there. Now, I think we do have a little bit of extra funding we can put into some facilities, and I think Mission Control is going to be the first one that I do that, because it adds 5 more possible active contracts. And that also is 1/2 of the flight planning, so maneuver nodes. This is the other half, but I'm not going to spend all our money there. Now our current max vessel weight is 18 tons, and we can up that to 140, and I think we will for our next rocket, but I'm going to build it first just to ensure that we absolutely need it. So we're here in the tech tree, and I think the very first thing I'm going to get is basic science for that sweet Science Junior. Let's just see if we get any other experiments. There's the radial form of the Science Junior and a experiment return unit, which I've got some cool plans for those. Our first probe core. Another probe core for universal storage. Yeah. So it's just the Science Junior, but that is a very good experiment to have. Alright, general rocketry is the next thing I think I'm going to go for. We got this, which is a pretty good, the Pug, pretty good vacuum engine. I think the really good one, the Terrier that we want, yeah, it's up in advanced rocketry. But we'll snag this, and I think we might as well snag the bigger fins as well. That'll be pretty useful. So we're left with 36 science. We can't quite get anything more, but oh well. We will get there soon enough. You can see we actually... this is empty tech tree nodes being hidden right here. There's usually an enhanced survivability node here, but we don't have anything that fits in that. So it skips it and goes straight through to simple command modules, which we only have one module. But, oh well. That actually is a pretty useful piece, and we might use it eventually when we start getting space stations. So we're going to look at contracts again, and see we've got plenty. So I think we are going to orbit Kerbin this time. So we're probably going to take this. So destination Kerbin, situation orbit, I think that'll work. Alright, experiments around the Kerbal Space Center. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get these, just because we need a little bit of like a rover vehicle to get these contracts. Oh, these are a good way to work on money, they're just a bit slow. We'll get there eventually. However, perform material study experiment on Kerbin. So landed at the Highlands, we gotta do a material study. Flying high. We need to do flying high, just flying high, okay. And then low in space material study. So we could probably hit all of those, actually. And we've got quite a bit of contracts we can do, so I'm going to take that one. I think it's a safe bet. Yeah, the rare science results from the splashdown in the grasslands, so we do have to find like one of the ponds there. However, that does give us a hefty amount of science. I'm not going to do that. That's pretty much something that's better to do with like a plane, and we don't have plane parts yet. Although I think by the end of the stream, I think I might aim to have a plane, a science plane, early science plane done. That'll be fun. I like building planes in Kerbal Space Program. Climate study of Kerbin, so that's a whole bunch of science. So landed at the shores, the southern ice shelf, the tundra. So that's really the only one that we can get. These, we have to go up north and, well, or south, but we have to go to one of the polar ice caps. And I don't think we're going to do that right away. This, when does it expire? 25 days, so we have some time. We could probably fit even a whole moon mission in that time. Goldfish engine splashdown. It's a really small engine. Test the Pug orbiting Kerbin. What are the 170 to 180,000 meters? I think we can actually hit that. I think we can do that. We'll put the Pug on the next rocket, and as our orbital engine. And I think we're gonna try and set some high space science. So we probably will be up there anyway. So I think we can do that. Test the Valiant. We're not plugging more than one engine up with us, so for everything orbiting Kerbin, that's going to be it. Test the TT-14 radial decoupler at the launch site. That's the side booster decoupler. Alright, Kerbin launch site, so that's it. So we can actually probably get that one. It'll be an easy, what, 5,000 funds? Super simple, and we get a little bit in advance for doing that. Attitude control decoupler, orbiting Kerbin. I don't think we're going to bring any of the universal storage stuff up with us just yet. And then focused observational survey. So in-flight 16,800 meters, 16,400, 19,000. So we're going to need some pretty high altitude planes to do that, but they're fun. They are pretty fun contracts, actually. So nothing from bases and stations, satellites, anything like that, although that makes sense because, well, we haven't actually gotten to orbit yet. So these are what we have to hit. So we're going to orbit Kerbin, that'll be easy. That one will come with it. So I think we're going to slap on an extra decoupler, just to hit that one real fast. And then the material study experiments. We can try and aim for the Highlands, but I think we'll be able to get these two. so let's get to constructing our first orbital vehicle. This is fun. Fun. So we're going to make a new one. It's going to be the CLV Mark III. Just leave it at that for now. You can see now we've got our 2 probe cores and the reentry module. I'm still going to use the command pod for now. We might get to that. That can be fun. It's hard to mount a parachute on it though, because it is designed so that you can like jump out. That's how the Soviets did it. They would re-enter, and then the actual cosmonauts would jump out and use personal parachutes, and this would just crash into the surface. But I like bringing the whole vessel home, especially because it gets us some extra funding. So we're gonna do the normal. We're gonna get our chute. Actually, I think we're gonna get mystery goo. And we have this inline one, so that's why you might be thinking, oh, what's he doing? This comes with Restock Plus. It's the same, it does the mystery goo deployment, it's the same thing, but it's inline as opposed to radial, so we don't have to worry about re-entry heating, sneaking up the sides for that. So these are all some universal storage stuff. I'm not going to get into those experiments yet. We will slap a Science Junior on though. Do we have a payload bay yet? We do. I think I'm still going to put stuff on the outside just for now. So we've got our goo and that, so we're just going to want, yeah, thermometer. I'm going to put it like up here, so you can still reach it from there. I think we're gonna, because I think with this we've already got it from high altitude, so from high altitude and low space, I think these are just going to be for high space. So we don't necessarily have to try and get a upgrade to the astronaut complex in time. We might want to. We could do the suborbital flight with just the Science Junior to get some science. So we're gonna want drogue chutes, I think. This is a bit heavier to bring down too, so it should help a little bit. Put 2 on and just offset them in a little bit like we did last time. This time we are definitely going to need a heat shield for sure, and I'm going to budget a little bit of extra ablator. We don't need all that, but it can't hurt. Might even bump it up a little more. There we go. So this will be our capsule. Got our beautiful flag on the back. You can see it hung over there too. So our max part count in the VAB is 30 parts, and we have 9 right now, so I think we can make that work. So our first decoupler is going to be here, and we're going to have a little bit of fuel for, let's see which one looks nicest. That works. We're going to put our little pug engine here. We could use the spark. They're probably actually better if we clustered a few sparks compared to just one pug. But we have the contract for this, and I think it'll be worth it to use. Now, I don't actually think that we can get a decoupler shroud around that like that, so keep it as is. It actually comes with a little bit of liquid fuel and oxidizer, so that's pretty cool. That's 712. Let's change that to like, I don't know, maybe 20 kilometers up. 1546. I am tempted to just add one more fuel tank to be safe. We probably could make it with just that, but I think that that'll help. 1972, yeah. That's enough delta V to get us to orbit, I think. Or to get us from where we would be after our first stage into an orbit. So our next decoupler. So one thing I don't like about this engine and the Terrier with Restock is that it leaves this band here, but it's not bad. It gives it makes the rocket look a bit more like a rocket with the mixed textures everywhere. So next up, yeah, you can see the Oscar A right here and the Oscar C, so the longer and shorter, as well as the domed one version of these fuel tanks come with Restock, or Restock Plus rather. So that's how we have access to those, and they're actually pretty useful, and each one has a different paint job when you switch it to like the white. You can see this one has all the lines on it. This one has some lines as well, but they're all different, so you can stack them and mix them differently. Obviously when you have a limited part count, it's, you know, better to use the bigger ones, so that's also nice. Alright, we're gonna start attaching fuel tanks. Should just see how the dark and orange looks. I think we're not gonna use the orange for now. Dark maybe though. I think, let's see, let's bring it up a little bit. So we're gonna use a swivel engine, a bit bigger than the Valiant, which is also from Restock Plus. But I think, obviously a boat tail, but I think that'll perform a good bit better. Does it have enough TWR? It does. Okay. This is 2207 meters per second here. I'm just gonna add one more of these fuel tanks first. How much does this cost? 9,000. Not terrible. Pretty cheap actually. TWR 1.58. That'll work. I think I'm actually gonna go with these fins again. Even though we have the bigger ones, I have an idea that I saw someone use. I forgot who exactly, but I thought it was actually pretty cool. So we're gonna have those ones there. Then we're gonna have another set here, and these are actually gonna be upside down and backwards, like so, and then fully flipped around, and they're gonna come down, out a touch. You can see we've got this kind of unique fin shape. You can see it kind of slopes in underneath. I think they look pretty cool. So we might actually need a bit more delta V. What was our contract? Which of those decouplers was it? The 14, so that's the little one. So I think we might actually be putting on some boosters today. And we don't have any, it just reminded me, we don't have any fins that could steer, so our method of steering is going to be this and reaction wheels. What solid fuel engines can we get? These are a bit big. These guys though, these might help. That might be a lot. That might be enough to get into orbit. I'm not positive though. Hold on, I'm gonna shift the fins to be on 45 degrees and then do 2 boosters, just because having 2 boosters on a diagonal, that would be here and here as opposed to here and here. It's just kind of weird to me, so let me just put you guys there. You guys there. Can I grab it? Yep. And these ones we'll bring down. Like so, okay. And then I think we're just gonna do 2 of those. We're gonna use these ones. I'm gonna do just 2 of these hammer boosters. So some pretty cheap extra propulsion here. Just try and get it level like that. So they're all gonna fire at once, and they're gonna separate, and then see what's next. This is a coupler, and that engine can actually go together, and I want to be able to do my drogues separate, so like so. Let's actually get a nose cone on these guys. I kind of like that. I'm going to drop the thrust limiter to like 75. Is that enough? That's plenty of TWR. Let me drop it to like 30. 1.97. Yeah, that'd work. It'll burn for quite a while though. Nah. Alright. So, we've had the grasshopper and we've had the beetle. I think this is gonna be the what kind of bug can we think of here? Butterfly, bee. We do bee. Sure. The bumblebee. Bumblebee. Alright. That's that. Let me just make sure we can hit all of our contracts. Aha. Oh, it's just barely over. Okay, hold on. I think we can cut down on solid fuel a little bit. Oh, we have 34 parts. Oh, we have too many parts. So we're actually gonna need to upgrade the VAB. Well, I'm gonna make that problem a bit worse by adding another part because we have to hit that decoupler. Yeah, I think everything else we can hit already. So just get that decoupler. This will be shed immediately. It's gonna be the first thing to go. Alright, that looks good to me. I think that we're ready to go. I'm gonna put Bob on this one because he's Bob. Because we need to reset that experiment, which actually means, yeah, we should go look at, okay, we gotta go look at some upgrades. So I think we're gonna need to upgrade the VAB and the astronaut complex, I think. So how much is it to upgrade this one? 75 grand? 225, so we actually can't launch this rocket yet. Alright, so alright, I'm not gonna do this on the orbital rocket. I think we're gonna do this on another rocket. Let's see what else we can get. So landed at the Highlands. Landed at the shores. Landed at the southern ice shelf. I'm not gonna be able to get that last one, but I can get these two. Might come back to that. Swivel engine splash down. We can do that actually. Sure, we'll do that and then we'll do the decoupler one. So we're just gonna make a little utility rocket here just to knock these things out. This is kind of how career mode is sometimes. Contract completion vehicle 1 Mark 1. I'm not even gonna give this a nickname because we're probably gonna have a couple of these if I had to guess. Actually, jumping back and forth a lot here, but I want to know, what was that one that the onion pod needed? At the launch site. Okay, so we'll also grab that and use that. Okay, I'm hopping back and forth a ton. I'm sorry, but that's a bit of extra funding, so we're going to swap this out for this little guy. Actually going to take off all the ablator. We're going to add a chute. Actually, I'm going to add 2 chutes. Which one's the hatch? I think this is the hatch, so we can put him here. Maybe? think that will work. Okay, so we need to test, which one was it? We need to test a liquid engine. I'm gonna test this guy. So swivel splashed down. Swivel. And then I think we're gonna grab like this guy maybe. You have a decoupler? Oh, that's right, okay. Let's disable that. Solid fuel, and bump that way down. About there will work. Plenty of TWR. Let's try and cut back on that just a little bit, so we ain't killing anyone. 4.28, yep. Alright, I think I'm actually gonna fly Bob on this one, just so that he can get a little bit of experience. And the last thing we need is this decoupler here. Alright, I think that'll work. Let's get a Bob. Save, make sure we're good. 6 out of 30, only 4.5 tons. Let's go. Alright. Let's close this off. So, we've got the contract. Let's start with the test in this guy. So run test. So he's been tested. We gotta test this one. Whoa, that was aggressive. Oh, we're supposed to, okay. You didn't see that? No one saw that? Yeah, okay, so we're supposed to do it through the staging. Because I did a dumb and thought we had to right click on it. So let's just do that one more time, pretend it didn't happen. So we're gonna run the test on this one. We're gonna run the test on this one. And then that has to just be splashed down. Okay. Ooh, okay. Alright, we're gonna go in 3, 2, 1. Just need to hit the water, that's all that's gotta happen. This is, ooh. Probably should have added a coupler in there. Okay, before we start going too fast, we're going to deploy the chutes and where they are. If we hit too hard, this is going to be what hits too hard, and it should break our fall. Hopefully. Oh no, we're coming down slow enough. This whole thing is gonna land fine. Just gonna bring her down nice and slow. So the really pretty SRB thing that it did after it burned out, but it still kind of had some vapor coming out of it, that is from the SRB Waterfall Effects mod, which adds some really cool waterfall effects to SRBs. So waterfall is a visual mod I use to make engine plumes look really nice, but this one adds it to the solid boosters as well as the liquid ones, which are included by default. So we're splashed down, we're gonna run this test, and we did it. We're good. Actually, I wonder if this is a new crew report. No, we're still on the shores technically. Alright, so we did a good couple of contracts. I'm going to delete the messages just so I can take a look when I need to. And recover. So there's a bit of money. I think that's enough to get the VAB upgraded. Maybe enough for the astronaut complex, but I doubt it. Yeah, no. It is enough to upgrade this though. Oh, oops. Well, like I was saying, we now have enough funding to upgrade the VAB. right? I hope. Yes. It's actually going to leave us quite low on funding. I don't know if we can actually fly the rocket now. We didn't lose. We still got contracts that we can complete. Mark 3. Yeah, 12,752. So we got to make a few grand real fast. No big deal, but worth noting. So, alright, so these are the ones we're gonna hit with that contract. Perform experiments around KSC. These goo ones, we can land it at the shores and land it at the highlands. That'll be pretty easy. And then I'll actually get us some science too. Rare science results. That's orbiting. Test the PPD-10 hitchhiker container landed. Don't actually think we have that unlocked. I'm not positive on how that works if we don't have it unlocked, but the Hammer solid fuel booster orbiting Kerbin. The TD-12 splash down. Orbiting. Okay. So we could probably do this. Yeah, we'll hit these two, I guess. This one and the goldfish. Both need to be done, splashed down. So we're creating another random mess of a rocket. Let's grab CCV Mark 1. Let's just label it Contract Completion Vehicle Mark 1. Just so I know what it stands for. We're gonna make the Mark 2. So which of these is cheaper? 600, 600, they're the same. Cool. I actually might keep that. So I know we need a goldfish. And a decoupler. Looks a little stupid, but it is what it is. I might clip it in a little bit here, hold on. Don't want to clip too much, but we can also bring this up a bit without any issues, I think. Then put that guy back on. Probably should add some fins, actually. Just do 3 cheap little fins so we can test. Those 2 splash down. We've got our chutes to bring down the whole rocket. Okay. Let's go. So Jeb's actually got the experience. Bob might as well, and we'll do Val. We'll rotate who's flying on these missions to get a little bit of experience all around. Kind of annoying that FMRS, that's the flight manager for reusable stages, keeps popping up. Nothing I can really do about that though. So, ooh. I want you to go separately. Okay. We're going in 3, 2, 1. We're gonna go push over really hard. Don't know if we're gonna be able to get into this. So notice when this burns out, right about now, there's still a plume and it kind of does this cool thing and dies off. That's from SRB Waterfall Effects. And it's really cool. I actually really like it. I haven't seen too much with it. And we're coming in ballistic. Oops. Well, we didn't Didn't mean to do that. That's one shootout. We still have the goldfish, so we can still complete that one. 2 shoots, okay. Well, there goes that. Half of the mission. That's fine. That's because I didn't check my staging. We are almost there, though. This is the annoying thing about having 2 parachutes on a rocket this light, is it's going to take us forever to get to the ground. But it's not too big of a deal. There we go. So, we might as well run this one. Cool. Is that completed? It is. Still have to get that decoupler one, but that'll be easy. So let's recover the vessel, and now we should have enough to launch the orbital mission. So that'll be good, actually. We'll really be getting some stuff done. 0.1 science. Ugh, the gains. Oh, we actually got quite a bit of funding from that. So there's a beautiful level 2 VAB. We're gonna open up the Bumblebee again. This is ready to go into orbit. So we've actually knocked off this contract, so I'm gonna take that off real fast. So that's taught me a good lesson to check my staging, so just real quick, I'm gonna check that. These guys are gonna start first, and the boosters will detach, and then the lower stage will detach. We'll go to the upper stage, and then that'll detach for reentry. We've got our drogues and our mains, so I think that's all good. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. So we're gonna send Bob on this one. We're actually gonna try and get Science Junior for exclusively from high above Kerbin. That way we can get the most from it, because we can't EVA yet, or EVA off the ground yet, so just worth noting, I guess. And wow, those doors are opened up high for a little rocket like this. Alright, so final checks. Crew is ready. Rocket is ready. I say, let's go. Now, I think this is a good mission to demonstrate the capabilities of science here and now. So we're gonna run this mission and show it to you. So that is this one. You can see it says, oh, you don't have barometer or thermometer or a Science Junior scan from here. And I know that, but I am not actually going to use them. Turn my camera up here. Alright. I'm not going to use them yet. That will be flown on another mission, but I want to save this one, the material study, till we get to high space, because that will yield us the most science. So we do not have SAS, unfortunately, which is a bit scary, but it's okay. So we're going to throttle up to about 1/3 and launch in 3, 2, 1, go. Here we go. Beautiful, beautiful plumes. Oof. Alright, let's start a gravity turn here. Not having SAS is, it's a thing. It's a bit finicky flying this. But we're gonna make it work. Somehow. Maybe. Don't actually have a lot of control. Alright, guess we're going to a semi-polar orbit now. That's actually not that big of an issue. Maybe we should have slapped a probe core on this, but it's not too big of a deal. I think we'll still get to orbit. And we are actually doing this without any maneuver nodes whatsoever. Just worth noting. We're going to throttle up now. Detach the boosters. And here we go. Just make sure you've got enough TWR. Oh, plenty. Actually throttle back. You see how that works. This is a new situation and all sorts of new experiments we can do. But we can't EVA and reset any of these, so this is going to be kind of rough. Rough mission. But we'll get there. Now, I actually have no clue if our apoapsis is above the atmosphere or not. Now this is not good. I do not want to have to be manually doing this whole thing, but it's not. Oof, I don't know if this is gonna get into orbit. Okay, I think I'm just going to burn to try and get this into space at least, because it's not going too well. We in space? We're in space, okay. You can get all the science, actually. Everything. Okay, we can get this. That'll work. We actually got kind of close to an orbit here. Somewhat. Well, note to self, for the future, we are going to want to have a probe core or a pilot on board. I think we will fly with the pilot. Actually, I don't know why I have a scientist. Because, like I said, we can't reset the experiments. There's no point. Well, I'm going to decouple this and try and get us pointing retrograde. Alright, I think that's about as still as we're gonna stay. So we're gonna time warp back down and prepare for our reentry. We're trying to hold steady right around our retrograde. Really just need the atmosphere to take a hold of us, keep us stable on the way down. Because I don't know if it's going to be able to happen here. I have to, if you can't hear the keyboard, I have to keep this stable, and I'm trying really hard so we don't burn up. We're entering the atmosphere now, so there we go. No, no, no. Please, 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 please. Come on, just stay on the retrograde. Oh, I can do this. Oh, I'm fighting the atmospherics now. Okay. Alright, we've re-entered. We're over the water, but the clouds obscure it. Clouds are really beautiful from Eve, by the way. These are really, really pretty clouds. Whoa. Alright, we're gonna try and use chutes to hold us steady. We might actually land on land. I doubt it, but we might. I think we might land just off the shore. Well, since we're here... Yeah, we're gonna land on the shores. Since we're here, we'll get the science that we can. And we'll just time warp down to the ground. Oof, what did we lose? Oh, we lost to Science Junior. Oh, because I wasn't paying attention. I was watching the stream. Alright. I think this is a justified moment to load a quick save. No one saw that. Alright. We're gonna drop the chute at like 500 this time. Main chute here. There we go. Now it is time to inflate. That's where I wanted to do it, and I just wasn't paying attention. Alright. Please, 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 please. Oof. Alright. I think we're good to go. So, let's recover it. Got a little bit of science off that, but... I'm gonna have to fly with the pilot for the next mission. We might have lost some funding on that. I hope it wasn't too much. Hope it's enough that we can still launch another one without doing one of those contract rockets. Yeah, we've got enough. We recovered some funding from parts, about half. Well, we've got some extra science. We can actually research 2 of these. I think I want to get advanced rocketry, mainly for that Terrier, but we've actually got some other engines. This one's fun too, the Kodiak. I actually don't really frequently use it, but it's nice. We've got firework cannons. I think we're going to get that. And then we're going to choose from one of these. So flight control. That actually might be some really reaction wheels and stuff like that. We could go planes. I think we're gonna get planes at some point here. Might be something. We might get it now. I don't know. Let me think about it. And then construction. So I have Mark II and Mark III stockalike expansion, which add a lot of the Mark II and Mark III parts before you actually unlock like the main stuff. So like structural fuselages and stuff here. We do get a fairing though, so we could start launching some more cargo and probes. We get the beginning of our universal storage and stuff. Alright, I think we're gonna take a break from rockets and go to planes. So I think we'll take the aviation node, and we'll design a plane, because why not? And we'll use the airplane plus parts. So, let's hop into the spaceplane hangar and get designing. So, I want this plane to be able to fly reasonably high, not too high. Alright, so let's look at what cockpits we have. This one's interesting. We'll probably put like an air intake there, or just a nose cone. Obviously we've got the stock one right here. Oop. It's kind of weird switching controls from spaceplane hangar, or to the spaceplane hangar. So you got the standard one. I just don't think I'm going to go with it just because of it's the standard one. We've got basically an X1 cockpit here. Supersonic cockpit. Looks pretty nice. We've got this Mark 1 business cockpit, which actually looks really nice. It looks similar to this one. It's a bit less pointy, but that's actually a pretty nice looking cockpit. Might come back to that. But the viewer's cockpit 1 and 2, where's the 1? Here it is. No. Here it is. Yes. So this one almost reminds me of like a submarine cockpit. This one more of a plane, but down here these kind of make me think helicopter. But I don't think we're gonna go with either of those. No, I already showed that one. Though this one is a helicopter cockpit pretty much. Very helicopter shape. Windows, all that. And then we have the size 1.5 cockpit, which is much bigger. So it really does depend on our needs. I think we're going to have a science plane, which means I think we're going to go for a 1.25 meter design, so we can have that Science Junior nice and in line. So I think we're actually going to go with this one because this one looks nice. We might actually even be able to put the mystery goo up front here to keep as much stuff out of the way of drag as possible. Like there. Depends on how funky it looks. I think this is the only miniature nose we've got. Compared to that, I think that looks better. It's a bit mismatched with the colors, but yeah, that'll work. Ooh, this is a 2-seater? Nice. Okay, so we can have a pilot and we can have a scientist. So I think we'll go with that for now. We're gonna need a fuselage. So, let's see, Mark 1. We're actually probably going to want to have the Science Junior right up front. What's the mystery? Science Junior, they look very similar. Right up front, so that way the scientists can reach it and reset it without having to get off. Might even do a pretty cautious EVA, but I doubt it. This is probably for in the future, but that way we have nice, easy access to it. Let's see, what do we have in structural? Just an adapter. Okay. Cargo bay, service bay. Alright. We do have a tilt connector. It is the quite long one, so it does look a bit funky, but I think that is really our main option, unless there's a fuel tank that's good in shape. I do not see any, however. So we might go with that tail connector. I think we don't really have a choice. It does look really weird though. I wonder what else we can pull off. We could just put this on the back. A bit funky looking, but it could work. What do we have for engines? We've got turboprops. Yeah, some propeller engines. The J-20 jet, and then these two propellers. Let me just think, that's 400, 450, 350, 400, 450. But these ones don't think need air intake. So we might make a propeller plane, because that's a pretty fun one. So let's get our wings sorted out then. Wing connector type J. So that'd be like 2 of those to get to that width. Type I. That one actually doesn't look too bad. Gotta flip it around though. Like so. Yeah, that could work. Alright, we're gonna want type E. Yeah. That is those are some shorter wings. So maybe we put this guy on here. Yeah. Let me just attach this one to this wing, so our wings are all one assembly. You're gonna have to flip it around. This looks a bit messy right now, but it'll get better. Alright, hold on, let's get this one out of the way. Just for now. And can you come forward one? And go to there, okay. And then I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this one like hereabouts. And then we'll have a control surface in here. We'll have our elevon. Yeah. That doesn't look too bad. So we'll have this do pitch and roll. It does look a bit funky, but I don't think it's that bad. And then we're gonna need our stabilizers. So we can actually do them at the wingtips. Let me just get these straight. You could put them on the wingtips like that. That does look a bit funky, bit odd. Reminds me of the Virgin Galactic air-launched rocket. I forgot exactly what it's called. It's been a while. They haven't flown in a while. Out of sight, out of mind, you know. Alright, what else do we have for controls? Control fins. You can use these, the Elevon Zero, like custom ones. Actually, yeah, why don't we do that? So, here is my idea. We're gonna actually fold these up, like so, and bring them up like that. And then we'll have the smaller elevons on the wingtip. Maybe, if they want to cooperate. Or not, I'm gonna have to do it myself now, I see. Alright, let's get him centered. It is a bit big, actually. That's a bit annoying. Type J, type K. I wonder what the difference is. Is there a difference? I don't think that there is. I don't know. So it looks a little weird. What do we got for landing gear? Because I know the Kerbal aircraft expansion adds some. Probably gonna want to bring the center of mass back. Which, yeah, okay, so we might have to bring the Science Junior to the back. Let's do a little shuffle. Yeah, so that's got a much better flight profile. I do think I want to pull this back just a tad. So we are still gonna need to get some weight back here. Let's see. We still have to add the engines, so that's one way we can do that. Let's see, 540, 400, 350. So let's start with the cheapest one. And it's still really big. Vortex, count, Baron, Spud, and the Hurricane. That one's way too big. Maybe props won't work, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Which is also making me kind of want to get rid of this. So let me pull the wing off. Let's switch to a structural fuselage, maybe? Or a dry one of these that's empty. We'll empty it out. Okay, So for jets, we're just gonna do what a lot of people do. So we're just gonna place down Mark 0, circular intake, and a Juno jet engine. No, where'd it go? I see you. Alright. So just make sure it's not poking out the top of the wing like it is. Like that will work. Let's move it forward. In even. I think that looks pretty good. We'll name it in a second. We've still got to put landing gear on it, and this actually is not the most stable. We still got to pull some weight back here. I'm not super sure on how we're gonna do that. Let's see. Probably nothing in there. We could move the engines back, actually. Yeah, we could put them like up here, like A10 style. I mean, not really A10 style, but you know, like on the fuselage as opposed to the wings. Yeah, that works actually pretty well. I think we'll fill in that gap. Yeah, just make sure they're touching. I mean, obviously from a distance they are, but yeah, actually I think that looks good. So let's get some landing gear. Skids, fixed gear. It's all fixed at this point, but might want. Let's see, what do you guys look like? How annoying are you if you are like sticking out? Maybe these ones. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna go with the stock ones. I think that they look good. They'll work. Here, let me put them on the wing, and we can move them from there. Actually, I think we'll hide it a little bit in the engine so it can come up a bit. Actually, it really shouldn't. This one's really wobbly though as a front gear, unfortunately. But we don't have another option. So it is what it is. Alright, I think that looks like it'll work. It looks a little funky, but I think it will fly. So let's call this the J for Jet 1, J1, J1, I'm gonna go with Explorer, but that feels a bit too generic. Integrity? Maybe? I like that. Or I'm thinking something along the lines of like simple, simplistic. Let's see, what are synonyms for simple? Synonyms for simple. Straightforward. Effortless. We could do effortless. Or J1, the easy goer. Sure. Alright, save that. Actually, let's put the rest of our science experiments on before I forget. Because I was about to. one of the Science Junior, but we should be able to have 2 of everything else. And as we get more experiments that we can use in the atmosphere while flying, we'll add them as well. Alright. So we've got Jeb, and we'll get Val, our 2 test pilots. Just check the aerodynamics real fast. It's looking good. So I say we go. Alright. Well, we're on the runway, so we've got some new science here, actually. Sure, we'll snag it while we can. Yeah, material study. Put the brakes on. Right. Jeb. We'll get the EVA report too. And then we'll get back in and recover it. We'll do it one more time so that we can actually get some science, some new science from the air. That'll work well. Yeah, 25 science. Nice. Okay. So I've got a couple of stuff from Steam. Jeb and Val will fly it again. I think on its test flight we'll bring it to the island airfield. Snag some science from the shores in the water while we're on our way. Alright, so we're gonna start up our jet engines. Alright, we're gonna throttle up. And release the brakes. That's real food. Working nice science right there. Alright. Real quick, because I mixed them up. Unfortunately, we cannot retract the landing gear, but that's okay. Low overcurving shores, we can really material study. So we're going to fly over to that island airfield over here. Also be good for me to practice. Keep the doors closed, you know. You're going fast. I don't think we'll break the sound barrier, but I wonder if we will. I think the landing gear and science experiments will have to drag in because of this smack, but it'd be impressive if we can. Actually, let's go full flap. I want to see if I can. We're close. 260. 70. We really have to hit like 330 because we're practically at sea level, so I don't think we'll make it, but we might. I don't know if we've got enough open space before we get to the island airfield though. It's nice to know we get pretty close. This plane's fast. Very fast. 2 jets is probably even too much. 1 would be fine. But 1 jet of this size centrally is kind of a weird thing to do. Internal view. Pretty cool. Alright. We're gonna need to kill off some speed here. get the brakes ready. We are gliding in completely on it as a glider. Actually, might have to add some power. Maybe. I don't think we'll stall. I hope we won't stall. Okay. And brakes. Brakes. Come on. Really don't want to turn because we're still going far too fast. Right. There we go. Cool. We landed. Alright. Let's get the remaining things we can. Also have Jeb step out, get us an EVA report, and take the data here so we can get the report. Get back in, crew report, not a lot, but there we go. So we have a working jet plane. I'm not sure what its altitude limit is. We might have to test that with one of those zone contracts. But yeah, 70 science now. So we can unlock another one of these nodes, or we can save up a bit more and get to one of these. And we can actually save up, and probably don't want any of those. It's all Mark II stuff. But we got save up to get to our aerodynamics, get some new cockpits, stock one too. Get the jet engine. We can even get some breaking ground propellers if we want. This I love this intake. It looks very cool. I don't actually think that there's a lot in that for us just yet. So I think it's a nice engine to have. Interesting, there's a whole bunch of life support stuff. There's a 2.5 and 3.75 meter life support. Propulsion systems. I think we're probably going for fuel systems to get these fuel ducts so we can do some efficient boosters and stuff. Might also want to get a probe core and solar panels. That actually might be, yeah, I think that might trump it. So we might want to get electrics here. I think that that's probably the best bet. Capacitor bank, yeah, the bus and the actual octo itself. This is pretty much what we need to make a probe. We can do it with the Stay Putnik, but that one doesn't have a whole lot of strength, or a whole lot of, like, control, really. A whole bunch of space station stuff. Don't really need that yet. A lot more orbital stuff. Landing might be a good one to get, just so we can get some good stable landing gear here. Get the normal one as well. We also get a small launch escape system, which is pretty cool. Little landing legs, heat shields, big parachute, all sorts of stuff. We'll need that eventually, I'm sure. But yeah. I actually think that that's a pretty good place to round off the stream. So we've got a rocket capable of going into orbit. We haven't flown it yet. And we also have a science plane and a good bit of funding. I mean, not a lot, but we put a lot of it into the VAB and the mission control facilities. But yeah, I think that's pretty good. We've done pretty good. So I appreciate you all for coming and watching, and I'll see you guys later.